Today's topic is human resource management. As I have already forwarded you notes, my detailed notes on each and every topic of mine, I am here only discussing the synopsis of all the topics. Okay, and the important portion I am highlighting. Now, here, the scope. Human resource management, the very important name nowadays. Now, what is the meaning of human resource management? Okay, see, in most of the company, whether it is big or small, you can find this particular department called as HRD department, human resource department. Okay, earlier it was known as personnel department. Okay, now the scope has been widened. Okay, and the name has changed to human resource. Means this particular management division is managing the manpower of the organization. Okay, you know that the manpower of an organization is a very critical part to manage, because managing men, managing machine is a totally different one, because the machine doesn't have their own brain, but human being have. Okay, so managing human being, like the manpower of an organization, is a very important part. Okay, now here, scope of human resource management is a very wide one. Okay, it starts with manpower planning, then job design, then recruitment, then selection, then orientation and placement, then training and development, then performance appraisal, then promotion, increment and demotion, then retirement, resignation and termination, and lastly stress management. Okay, now first I'm starting with this one, manpower planning. What is the meaning of manpower planning? See, whenever we are starting a particular financial year, the top level management of any organization, they used to plan for the upcoming year. Okay, that means how much production they are going to take up for the coming year. Okay, now on the basis of their planning, on the basis of their set target, they used to segregate the activities to be done by the different departments of the organization, so that the target could be achieved. Understood? So once they have done with their planning part, then comes the segregation of activity amongst department. And when they are segregating the activities among department, they have to see whether they have sufficient number of manpower in every department who can carry on all these activities and who can finish these activities within the due course of time. Okay, so this means judging of availability of manpower and the requirement, comparing with the requirement, is coming under the term of manpower planning. Okay, this manpower planning. Now once they have done with the planning process, and if there is a need of manpower from outside, okay, then comes the need of doing job design. Okay, job design means what? Designing of job. Designing of job means deciding the contents of a job, the methods of doing a job, the duties and responsibilities associated with a job designation, the qualification, experience one must possess. Okay, so to hold that particular designation. So these are all coming under designing of a job. Next comes recruitment. Once the job designing is over, now what we can do? Now we can start searching people from outside. Okay, and the searching people from outside is termed as the process of recruitment. The recruitment doesn't mean selection. Recruitment means selecting people, searching people from outside, searching qualified and competent people from outside. Okay, and sometimes maybe from within the organization. Okay, so this is coming under the term recruitment. Now, once the recruitment process is over, recruitment is always remember recruitment is a positive process, because through recruitment we are adding people. We are adding people to our we are creating a large pool of people and a large pool of candidate, and we are adding candidate to that large pool. Okay, that's why recruitment is called as a positive process. We are attracting people towards our vacancy. Now, once we have attracted the candidate towards our vacancy, next comes what? Next comes the task of selection. Selection means selecting the best candidate out of that large pool which we have created. Okay, see, this is a very crucial process, because we have to select the cream candidate out of that large pool. Okay, so this is a very important process. Now, once we have selected the candidate, the appropriate candidate for the appropriate position, then comes what? The task of orientation and placement. Orientation is what? Orientation means making the new candidate aware about the organization, about the protocol of the organization, about the system of running of the organization, about the products of the organization, about the promotional strategies, about the rules and regulation, about the like everything. Means giving information about the organization to the new employee is called as a task of orientation, and that to be done immediately after joining. Once they have been oriented towards organization, next they can be placed to their own job field to perform job. Okay, now next comes what? Next comes the need of training. Definitely, in order to do our work in a more efficient manner, all of us needs training. Okay, so training is what? Training is actually given to the employee to enhance their knowledge and skill on some particular ground. Okay, and development means the overall growth of an employee. So this training and development is very important, because we all need training and development to improve ourselves. Next comes what? Performance appraisal. We are performing, means the employees are performing, but they also have some expectation from the company. Okay, and how that expectation can be fulfilled? By giving this performance appraisal. Okay, that means the performance of the employee should be judged. Okay, and who will judge? The immediate superior. Okay, the immediate superior should judge the performance of every employee working under him and report the same to HR department. On the basis of this reporting, they will be given their next part, that is their promotion, their increment, and the very rare case, demotion. Okay, so performance appraisal means evaluation of performance of the employee. Okay, and accordingly they will be given their promotion, increment, etc. Next comes what? Next comes retirement, resignation, and termination. Retirement, once you have completed your period of service, okay, maybe 60 years and or 62 years, the age of superannuation, you will automatically get retired from your company. If the company is having any after retirement benefit, you are going to enjoy that, like pension and all. If there is no benefit, so you will be given money lump sum, okay, on retirement, and rest of the part you have to do yourself. Okay, now next is resignation. Resignation means what? Putting your paper down. There may be several reasons behind it. Say you may got some other opportunity, better opportunity, that's why you want to leave your current job. Okay, it may be you want to do further study, that's why you want to leave your job. So whenever you are leaving your job, there is some protocol in different companies. Okay, few companies are asking for 1 month's notice period. Okay, notice period is what? That means before leaving your job, that means you have to intimate your company 1 month before leaving. Okay, that is 1 month notice period. Few companies are asking for 3 months notice period. Okay, that means 3 months before leaving you need to intimate your company. Okay, so that is what notice period. Okay, and resignation. Termination means here the company is forcing you to leave. Okay, so this is called termination. This is from company's part. Here also this particular rule will follow. So if the company is terminating you, okay, so there may be 1 month notice period for that. There may be 3 months notice period. Okay, so if you are a permanent employee, of that company, generally you have to give a notice of 3 months, and in many companies there is also 1 month notice period for the permanent employee also. Okay, so these rules are there in different company. Okay, so you have to follow that. And the last one is stress management, very important part nowadays, because nowadays we are very much overstressed. There may be several reasons behind it. Okay, like we have job stress, we have stress in our family as well. So how to deal with this stress of different employee, because different employees are having different mindset and different capacity of taking stress. Okay, so how to deal with this stress part of the employee, the HR department has to see all the time. Okay, and they are taking different procedure and like different measure to release the job stress of their employee. Okay, so this is all about the scope of human resource management. Let us now start discussion on few scope of human resource management. First and foremost one is manpower planning. What is manpower planning? Manpower planning means deciding the number and type of human resource requirement for each job, each unit, and also for the total company for a particular future period in order to carry out organizational activity. So here the very important part is number and type. Okay, number of people means the how many people we need, okay, for the company, and type means their qualification and experience. Okay, next, this manpower planning can be said in a different manner as well. Manpower planning, also called as human resource planning, consists of putting right number of people, right kind of people at the right place in right time, doing the right thing for which they are selected. Means what? Right number. First of all, here I have written right number. Right number means if we need 50 number of people, we are going to take 50 only, not more than that. Right kind means people with proper qualification and experience. Right place means once they are selected, they need to be placed in their own field. Next, right time. If we require people in this particular financial year, we will not wait for the next. Doing the right thing for which they are selected means once they are selected, now management need the effective performance from the employee. Okay, that is doing the right thing for which they are selected. So next is what? Next we will discuss the step of manpower planning. First is what? Before starting any financial year, the top level management, they used to set target for the coming year. Set target means setting of objectives. Once they set objectives, they used to review the organizational objective. Now, when they review it, okay, when they set the objectives, set the target for the coming year, they also need to decide one very important thing, that what are the activities required to be performed to achieve the said target, achieve the said objective. Okay, so now this decision of activities to be performed is a very important thing, and these activities to be performed by every department of the organization. Now next comes estimation of manpower requirement. Now in order to do these activities, each and every department must have sufficient number of manpower. Okay, that they need to see that in order to perform the activity, what is the exact number of manpower they need. That is called as estimation of manpower requirement. Now, as business is an ongoing process, they must have few people already available in the department. So that is called as estimation of manpower supply or availability. Say I am considering three departments, say purchase department, production department and sales department. Now in order to perform the activities of like the future activities, they need 20 number of people in this three department. Okay, and they already have 15 number of people. That means now they additionally need how many people? 5 more. Okay, in every, this means in every department, this three. Okay, so that is called as the comparison part. So once they have done with the manpower requirement and manpower availability, then only they can go for the comparison of manpower. Okay, so this comparison of manpower means they need to find out whether there is any difference or not. Okay, so now if the manpower requirement is matching with manpower availability, means if the manpower requirement, say number of people we need is 20 and we already have 20, that means there is no difference this case, no difference case. And if there is no difference, no action need to be done by the HR department of the organization. But if the situation is not like this, means if there is difference, then see, difference may be again of two types. One is called as surplus situation, another one is called as shortage situation or deficit situation. Okay, surplus situation means what? When the company is having excess number of manpower and their requirement is less. Suppose they need 20 number of manpower and they already have 40. This is called as surplus situation. So when there is surplus situation, the company used to take few decisions like termination or removal of staffs. This is a very detrimental situation for the employees. Okay, you can often see this kind of news in newspaper that a particular company has terminated this number of employees. For what reason? Because they have excess of manpower. They do not have sufficient project in their hand. Layoff means here that means the employees are there in the payroll, but for the time being they are sitting idle. Okay, so sometimes the companies are giving full salary to them, sometimes they are giving partial salary in case of layoff. Okay, so see this layoff. Another is voluntary retirement. Voluntary retirement means sometimes the employees are taking VRS from the company itself. Sometimes company may force the employee to take voluntary retirement. Okay, so these things are happening when there is surplus. But when there is shortage means requirement is more, availability is less. Okay, so requirement is more means now I need additional number of people. So now again that means the HR department has to take few decisions. If the requirement is for only one or two people in higher rank, it can be filled up either by promoting people from lower rank to higher rank or else by transferring people from one unit to another. If the requirement is for a shorter period of time, overtime facility can be offered to the existing employee, and in this way the short time requirement can be filled up. Again, training programs can be arranged to improve the quality of people so that they can do their work in a shorter period of time and the excess work can be done by them only. Another thing that can be done, that is taking contractual people to fill up the temporary requirement. Okay, so if the requirement is temporary and for a few number of candidate only, These are the steps. But if the requirement is for a larger group of people and they need people in various rank and for a permanent period of time, then the company should go for recruitment and selection process. Recruitment means searching people from outside, okay, and selecting the best, okay. So that these things will the company take when they need people in various ranks and for permanent period. Done. So this is called as the manpower surplus and shortage situation. Next, motivation. Motivation is a very important part done by the HR department of the organization. Motivation may be of monetary and non-monetary. Monetary motivation means here the companies are giving what? Companies are giving monetary when benefits like increment, like in the form of bonus, ex gratia, etc. Non-monetary motivation means companies are not giving any direct monetary facility to their employee. Instead of that, they are giving certain benefits like good congenial working environment, okay, some car pickup and drop facility, some healthcare facility and all. These are the part of motivation. Next is monitoring manpower requirements. See, in business, this termination, this retirement, resignation happens on and off. Okay, like almost every time it is just like a rotation. It is happening in business. Okay, so all the time the HR department need to monitor whether there is some shortage of manpower in any department or not, and that to be filled up immediately. Okay, so that's why they need to monitor every time the requirement. So that is all about the manpower planning part. Come to job design. What is the meaning of job design? See, once there is a requirement of taking people from outside, okay, or when there is requirement of manpower, then only there is a need of doing job designing. Okay, so job design is a tool for determining the content of a job. It fixes the method of doing the job and also the duties and responsibilities of the employee associated with a job designation. Job design also specified the qualification and experience one must possess to hold a job designation. Okay, so these are the few things included in this particular term, job designing. Now, when the companies are doing job designing, they have to keep in mind few factors. First one is what? Proper span of a job. Means the job should not be too wide so that it is impossible for a single manager to do or to cope up. It should not be too narrow so that people will not get any interest in doing the job. Means span of a job should be properly identified and properly that means properly segregated. Means it should not be too wide, it should not be too narrow. Next one is skill and efficiency of manager. Means when the HR department they are doing job designing, they have to keep in mind because different manager, different people may have different efficiency level. Keeping in mind that only they need to do job designing. Few jobs may be for more efficient people, few jobs may be for maybe there for less efficient people. Next comes what? Job design according to need of industry. Definitely job designing in a audit firm will not be same as job designing in a software industry. Again, job designing in a hardware industry will not be same with job designing in a bank. Okay, so job designing again varies from company to company, and that is vary from according to the needs of industries. Next, level of technology used. Means here also before doing the job designing, we have to keep in mind whether it is a human based company or it is a machine based company. Okay, if it is a human based company, then we need more of laborers, more of people who are giving physical labor. If it is a technology based, means if it is a machine based company, we need more of machine operators who can deal with the machinery as well. Okay, so this is what this is called as level of technology used. And another one is individual likings. While doing job designing, we have to keep in mind few things: the likings of individual. Few people wants to be the leader, so few job must be kept for the leader, for the leading positions, and few person wants to be follower. So there may be sufficient number of job for the follower. That means the people who wants to be a follower. Okay, so these things we have to, that means the HR department has to keep in mind before doing the task of job designing. Now comes recruitment. Recruitment means what? Recruitment doesn't mean selection. Recruitment means what? Recruitment is the process of attracting qualified and competent person for the vacant position in the organization. See, recruitment, I told you earlier as well, recruitment is a positive process, because through recruitment we are attracting the qualified and competent people to fill up the company's vacancy. Okay, and we are creating a large pool of candidate. Okay, now there are two sources of recruitment: internal source and external source. Internal source we use mostly when the number of vacancies are very few and mostly we need people in upper ranks. Okay, then we use what? The strategy like promotion, transfer, reappointing former employees, like that. Like promotion means promoting people from lower rank to upper, transferring means transferring from one unit to another, and reappointing former employees who have already retired from the organization on some advisory rank. Now here next is external recruitment sources we use when we need large number of people in various ranks. Okay, infusion of new talent from outside into the organization. Now internal, this here I have written all the internal sources. Now these are all the external sources. See, external source of attracting, the most important is external source through which we can attract a larger group of people is through advertisement. Advertisement may be given in different in news dailies or in magazines or etc and all, in news channels also. Okay, so the advertisement is one of the very important source through which we can attract a mass of people at a time. Okay, advertisement consists of many things, like the company name, like the position which are vacant, that means the designation which are vacant, the qualification and experience one must have, okay, to apply for the job, then the salary they are offering, okay, and the last date of submission of the CV, and the date of interview or date of written examination if the company is conducting so. Okay, so all this information and along with the website details, website number. Okay, so everything will be given in the advertisement. Sometimes few advertisements are called as blind advertisement. Blind advertisement means when the company won't disclose the name of the company, instead of that they are buying a post box. These post box are held by the newspaper agency. They are buying the post box, and instead of giving the name of the company, they are giving the post box number. The candidate who apply for the job through that post box number, they used to collect the application from the post box and shortlist it and call them for the interview. There may be various reasons behind this blind advertisement. Sometimes they don't want to disclose the vacancies to their rival. In this way they can attract good candidates from the rival firms. Another thing is sometimes that means the companies are not at all very renowned one, that's why they don't want to disclose their name. So this is called as advertisement. Next comes, this one is very important for the engineering people and also for the management people, that is campus recruitment. okay, from the educational institution. Campus recruitment nowadays happening in almost every kind of educational institution. Okay, here when the students are in their final year level, different companies are signing MOUs, means memorandum of understanding, with the company itself, and they are coming to the campus of the educational institution and take all efficient and effective students from the campus itself for their organization. Next comes employment exchange. The concept of employment exchange is not very popular in India, but outside in some country, this concept of employment exchange is very popular. This is once we pass our plus 10 level, we need to enroll ourselves with the employment exchange run by our state government. If there is any vacancy arises in the state government or semi-government organization, they called you up through employment exchange only. If you are having card, you will get a call. This is employment exchange. Next, walking, talking, and writing. So these are again another form of external source. Walk-in means come and give an interview. Write-in means come give a written test, and talking means come have a chat. This chatting is related to the future vacancy which may arise in future. So here the companies are collecting database from different organization and different educational institution and all, and calling the candidate directly, okay, for their vacancy. Next comes e-recruitment. E-recruitment means nowadays companies are not calling up the candidate to come physically at their place of work. Okay, they are arranging for interviews through video conferencing, through teleconferencing. Okay, teleconferencing and video conferencing interviews are just like sitting in front of the panel of members and giving interview face to face. Okay, so this is e-recruitment procedures. Recommendation, very important one. Here recommendation means if there is suppose a vacancy, shorter vacancy, that means one or two people and it cannot be filled up internally, the departmental manager may ask the departmental employee whether they can refer anybody. Okay, refer means they can recommend anybody known to them having the qualification and experience required by the company. So as per their recommendation, they can call the candidate for interview. Competitor, yes, very important source through which we can attract good number of candidate. Okay, competitor firm. Next is professional or trade association. Yes, trade association, they are that means on and off they are coming with trade journals, and in this trade journals they are giving their vacancies. Okay, and those vacancies are only for the members of that trade association. Okay, now these three method are for recruitment of labor class people in factory. First one is recruitment at factory gate. See here, because in factory we need a large number of laborers. Okay, so you can see that at the closing time of factory, the laborers they are gathering in front of the factory gate to see whether there is any notice given by the factory in charge or the supervisor of the factory regarding the vacancy. Okay, so accordingly they contact with them. Labor contractor, they are acting as an intermediary between the company, means between the factory and the laborers itself. They are supplying semi-skilled labor, skilled labor and unskilled laborers. Okay, next one is casual callers. Casual callers means they are actually the working on daily basis. Okay, they are calling different factories to see whether there is any very short temporary vacancy in those factories or not. Okay, so these are for all labor class people. Okay, next comes what? So these are the external and internal source of recruitment. Next comes the factors governing recruitment. See, again, factors can be also divided into external factors and internal factors. External factors, I'm briefing it out. First is demand and supply of a particular professional. See, demand and supply of a particular professional means we have to see that suppose if you consider the demand of a particular profession is very high in the market, then what happened? In order to recruit, or in order to search that kind of professional, the company has to offer a larger amount of salary. Then only they will be attracted towards the job vacancy. But if the situation is contrary, means demand is not very high, but supply is very high, means demand is more or less same, okay, it is not increasing, but supply is more in the market, then the company can have more number of candidates, offering them a lesser amount of money. Okay, so this is called as a very important point, demand and supply of a particular profession. Okay, if the demand is high, then the monetary, that means monetary facility the company will offer is more. If demand is low, then the monetary that means monetary offering will be less. Next is size of the organization. Definitely, if the size of the organization is big, the company is going to attract more number of people. Okay, if it is not so big, then lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. Next, rate of growth of a particular organization. Definitely, the before applying job in a particular organization, we have to see what is the rate of growth of this particular industry. If the rate of growth is very high, more number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. If it is less, rate of growth is less, then the lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. Next is political and legal consideration. See, before giving advertisement, semi-government on government organization, they have to keep in mind the legal consideration, and private also they have to keep in mind all the reservations, like reservation for SC, ST, OBC, physically challenged people and all. Then only they can declare seat for the general candidate. So this is again another factor. Next is company's image. If the company is a blue chip company, means whose share price is leading the share market, obviously more number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. If it is not, if the company's image is not very good, then lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. Next is employment condition. Employment condition means whether the company is offering any bond or not. If there is any such bond, lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job, because people wants to set themselves free out from these bonds and all. Okay, now if there is no such bond, more number of people will be attracted. Working condition, that means all people, means everyone needs a good and congenial working environment. So if the working environment of a company is good, then more number of people will be attracted. If it is not so good, lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. Next is what? The internal factor. First is recruitment policy. Recruitment policy means what? They have to see how many number of people they need, and what are the position which are vacant, what are the qualification and experience. So accordingly they have to frame a recruitment policy, and they have to start the process of searching. HRP strategies. HRP strategies means whether they are going to take people on temporary rank or on permanent rank. Accordingly people will be attracted. If it is on temporary rank, lesser number of candidate will be attracted towards the job. If it is for permanent rank, more number of people will be attracted towards the job. Next one is cost involved in recruiting employee. Means they have to see that the whatever system they are adopting for recruitment of the candidate, whether they are getting effective candidate through that recruitment procedure or not. Okay, whether this process is cost effective or not. If it is not cost effective, the company should go for any other recruitment procedure. Okay, so they have to always do this kind of this evaluation, okay, whether it is cost effective or not. So this is more or less all about recruitment. Let us now start with selection. Selection comes after recruitment. Recruitment, as we just now I explained to you, recruitment is a positive process, because through recruitment we are attracting a larger group of candidates towards the vacancies of the organization. Selection comes just after recruitment. But selection is always a negative process, because in every stage of selection there are rejections. See here, you can see in every stage of selection there are rejections. Okay, this is the common field here, rejection. Okay, so this selection procedure I have shown it with the help of a flow chart. Okay, so this is the flow chart I have shown. Now here you can see this rejection field is common. Okay, selection always starts with reception of application. Once we receive application from different applicants, then we can start with this process of selection. Now, selection starts with preliminary screening round done by the HR department. Okay, once they receive application, they do preliminary screening, and all the irrelevant application are initially rejected who don't have any match with the requirement. Okay, that means who have poor general impression, they are initially rejected. Now, people who are selected from this round, they are asked to fill up one application blank. Application blank is the one-page history of the candidate. Companies are generally asking the nutshell about the candidate's candidature. That means they want to know about the educational part, about the qualification and experience part, and anything added, that means added to that which can segregate that candidate from any other candidate, means if you have something additional, okay, apart from others. Okay, so that to be included in the application blank, because this application blank will give a bird eye view of the candidate. Okay, and generally on the basis of this application blank, the interviewer, they used to prepare questionnaire for the candidate. Okay, now once they receive the application blank, they do another screening called as secondary screening, and all those data which are again unfavorable, they are again rejected. See, unfavorable personal data, they are again rejected. People who are selected from this round, they are asked to sit for selection test if the company is conducting so. Now, selection tests may have different part like English aptitude, mathematical ability, reasoning skill, general knowledge, technical knowledge, etc. Now, section wise, the HR department, they are setting some cutoff marks, either section wise or as a whole. Okay, people who got the cutoff, they are selected for the next round. People who haven't got the cutoff, that means who have poor test score, they are again rejected. People who are selected from the selection test round, they are asked to sit for selection interview. See, the selection interview is a very common and very old process of selection. Through this selection interview, we can judge overall of a candidate. Means we can judge the presence of mind, we can judge the personality, we can judge the attitude. Okay, everything one interviewer can judge about the candidate. That's why this round is compulsory for any selection procedure. Now, in selection interview, again, there may be several rounds like GD, group discussion. You know, in group discussion, you will be given a topic and you are asked to say something regarding that. You need to, you cannot interrupt anyone to get into the topic. Okay, you have to spontaneously talk regarding that particular topic. Okay, this is not a debate, we have to keep in mind. So this is GD. So once again GD round is over, now then there may be technical interview round. Technical interview generally taken by the technical people. Okay, and then there may be HR round. HR round, you know, HR is, that means the human resource people, HR departmental people, they will take the interview. Okay, see, there may be different kind of question, whether you are willing to relocate or not, whether and what is the expectation of you from the company itself. Okay, how much salary you are expecting. There may be different type of question the HR people are asking. So once the interview is over, sometimes all the interview rounds are rejection round. Okay, sometimes the result of that means the consolidated one taken together, and there will be rejection. Okay, So and now that means the people who have good impression on the interviewer, they are selected for the next round. People who have poor second impression, they are again rejected. Now, people who are selected from this round, they are asked to give medical fitness test called as physical check. Medical fitness test nowadays mandatory because nowadays companies are giving mediclaim facility or medical benefits to their employee. Now, before giving such facility, they want to see whether the candidate is having any chronic kind of disease or not, which may need hospitalization on regular basis. So it will become costlier for the company. The cost of the company will increase. So before selecting the candidate, they want to see whether the candidate is having such kind of disease or not, okay, which may affect the cost of the company. Now, if they are found to be fit, they are selected for the next round. If they are medically unfit, okay, they are again rejected. Now, people who are selected from this round, they are asked to submit the name of their referee. Sometimes the referee name they are asking in application blank, sometimes afterward. Okay, so this referee 2 or 3 referee they are asking for. This referee could be principal of your school, principal of your college, maybe any political person of your locality, maybe any municipal person, maybe your father's friend holding a good position in a company, but should not be any relative, okay, who have blood connection with you. Okay, now they need to submit the name of 2 or 3 referees along with their email ID, contact details, etc. What the company will do, company will subsequently mail them up or send them later and ask about the candidature of the candidate. Okay, so if the feedback about the candidate is good, they are selected. If there is any sort of negative feedback, they are again rejected. Okay, from this round they are again rejected. See, negative feedback, rejected. Now people who are selected from this round, they will be given with final approval. That means now the HR department will prepare the final list of candidates. Now, when they are preparing final list of candidate, suppose if there is a vacancy of 50 candidate in our company, when they are preparing this list, final list, they should keep some person in buffer. That means they are preparing a list of at least 70 to 80 candidate. Why this is so? Because they will send offer letter to first 50 candidate as per the merit list and wait for the acceptance, because in that offer letter there is a date within which they have to send their acceptance. So suppose out of 50-40% have sent their acceptance within the time period given, rest 10 are not. So what the HR department will do, they will send again the offer letter to next 10 candidate according to the merit list and wait for the acceptance. Okay, so this process will continue unless and until they get all the 50 candidates selected. Okay, so this is called as final approval round. Once they have been given with final approval, that means they will be given with offer letter, and finally when you accept their offer, you will be given appointment letter, and on receiving appointment letter, that means candidate has to submit their joining letter as well. That means declaring that with from this and this date we can join your company. Okay, so then this is called as the joining letter. So now this is final approval part is over. Next comes what? Induction. Induction is the starting of training procedure and ending of selection. Okay, so induction is basically the first training given to all new joinees of the organization, and this is a short training, and in this particular training the candidate will be given information about the company itself. Okay, that I will again discuss when we will start with the training and development part. Okay, so this induction is the last step of selection. Okay, that's all.